but Emmy nominations, right? So
Yeah.
you know, the Emmy season is here and upon us.
Right.
And Wheel of Time did not get a single one.
Wow. I mean, wow. You know, I don't get it. Because at one point it was one of the. I remember when we were watching season 1, it was coming out with like it was one of the top streamed things. It could have just been that other things weren't going on at the time, but I felt like it really had good numbers according to. That's what I mean. Anyways, their Twitter account was pushing out like,
That's
oh,
what
we're the top
Amazon.
streamed.
That's what Amazon kept saying.
Right. So it felt like, okay, you're getting good ratings. There's a lot of people watching this, and then you look at it, and at least whether you like the acting or you thought like the story or the plot was bad or whatever, any of those things, or the adaptation, still just looking at the actors and then looking at like the costumes and the sets. And I don't really know what all the categories are and all that kind of stuff. I'm not real fluent in that, but
Right. Well, so I've got the list, the list up here. So, so drama series is what it would have been in.
mm-hmm.
And so, some of these things I look at and I say, okay, I get it. Like, Better Call Saul, Euphoria, Ozark, Severance, which I don't know that much about. I don't know really anything about. It's an Apple TV show. Squid Game, Stranger Things, Succession, and then Yellow Jackets is another show I'm totally familiar with. Okay, like Squid Game and Stranger Things were freaking amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that. I didn't watch Euphoria or Ozark, but I saw memes online and everything, and then Better Call Saul is part of Breaking Bad, and all I've ever heard people say is it's like better than Breaking Bad. Well, if that's the case, then it's going to be one of the best shows in the history of television.
Yeah.
So I get it. Okay, so I can get it not being in the best drama series, but then you start to go down to some of these other things too. It's like you could be an actor or actress, in some of these, because then it shifts a little bit, and it's okay. Now you've got somebody from Killing Eve in there. Okay, right. They didn't hit that. You look at like supporting actresses or supporting actor, they didn't get any there. Then you go down to even things like stunt work and lighting and costuming, which is where I thought they would. And The Witcher actually picked up an Emmy nomination. I was actually sort of surprised that it didn't get a single one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know, man. That is discouraging a little bit.
Yeah, because to be fair, a lot of times, like fantasy shows and things like that, and even like Marvel shows and stuff now, it's like a lot of times they always get sort of snubbed unless it's a performance that's so amazing. Like that, like comic book movies, to be fair, almost never do well in the Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
The only, like you look at some of the ones that have won recently is like Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, where he's really doing more of a character piece than he's really like, it's not it is a comic book movie, but it's a total different take on it. And then like Heath Ledger as the Joker in The Dark Knight. I mean, again, you're playing this like very specific character. We don't really see a lot of other, like Star Wars and Marvel. We don't really see a lot in these things. So I feel like a lot of these get snubbed anyway. Mm-hmm. But I mean, The Lord of the Rings it destroyed in the Oscars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's like the best. It's like one of the best. The Return of the King and the whole trilogy, but Return of the King is tied for the most Academy Awards ever.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking through to some of the other shows that kind of maybe got snubbed or just, I don't know. Like, I mean, yeah,
right. Outstanding casting. Stranger Things crushed it. Mm-hmm. You look at, I mean, again, a lot of these things are in this, but even like choreography, cinematography. You look at because other Netflix shows and things like that did, and Amazon did have a few. With like Marvelous Miss Maisel and The Boys got some nomination. Well, the Boys like animated show. I don't think The Boys qualifies this year because it's ongoing while the nominations come out. I think you have to have the show has to be done. But like The Witcher did get nominated for costumes. Outstanding fantasy / sci-fi costumes was Book of Boba Fett, Loki, Moon Knight, Star Trek Picard, What Do We Do in Shadows, which I don't even know what that is. I've never heard of that.
Hey, I stay out of the shadows.
and then The Witcher.
Okay. Yeah. So Witcher got what again? What was it nominated for?
So it was nominated for Outstanding Fantasy / Sci-Fi Costumes.
Wow, that's what. Yeah, you feel like maybe we could have been nominated for that, right?
Because I do, we felt like the costuming and everything was pretty, and like set pieces and
It was
everything.
cool. Look at the white cloaks and stuff, and the Aes Sedai.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, it was definitely something where, I mean, like, don't get us wrong, Ez and I definitely had some issues with with season 1 as a whole, especially like the final episode over. I'm still very, as we've said many times, I'm still very excited for season 2, and I sort of give it like it was okay. Like season 1 was okay, which is all it had to be. Like it didn't have to come out and be amazing. It just had to be okay in order to get a season 2, which it does have. So we're good, and you can improve upon it then. I'm actually, even with my reservations and hesitations on season 1, I'm still just sort of shocked actually that it did not get a single nomination.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you just brought up too that it's the first season, and so I'm sure maybe season 2 we'll get something, and maybe it's because these other things like the Ozark and these other things have been going on for a lot longer, and they have multiple, or maybe they're just, who knows? I don't know.
Well, the problem that season 2 will run into for nominations is that Lord of the Rings and House of the Dragon will exist.
Yeah.
Because if you go look at, like, in your head, right? Like, we just watched Stranger Things. We would think, oh, well, Stranger Things had to have been cleaning up at the Academy Awards. Well, nothing cleaned up at the Academy Awards while Game of Thrones was on.
Yeah,
because it had to go. So that's sort of the thing, is you go up against whatever shows came out. So even if your show is one of the best shows ever, you may not win Emmys, or same thing with movies, Oscars, because you happen to be in the year that something else came out that was so big that you just get sort of knocked out.
Yeah, and the only ones I really know, like, again, Squid Game was like international. Ozark has been phenomenal, and Stranger Things is way phenomenal. So Euphoria I've just heard about. I don't really know, and the rest of them I have no idea. So I guess it just comes down to, it's our thing, it's our niche. We like, the sci-fi fantasy, whatever. We also like a lot of other things too, but it's like, I mean, I guess I just
not even outstanding main title design.
I was looking at like best supporting, actor or whatever, and I'm just thinking of like Daniel Henney over there pounding on the chest, baby, like, let's go, like doing the whole thing. Come on, that was the killer, performance. And Rosamund Park did a great job. I'm laughing.
Outstanding period and/or character makeup.
Okay, yeah.
Loyal, outstanding prosthetic makeup. Stranger Things is cleaning up, man.
Yeah,
I can tell you that. Outstanding music. We talked about the score. I thought it was great.
Yeah. I guess it doesn't. I mean, we liked it, but I think it, for some people, maybe didn't stand out as much or something. I don't know.
Yeah, outstanding original main title theme music. Squid Game, Severance, and like Loki, The White Lotus. Only it's like I kind of like that theme.
How about this? Best reality competition program? Is this not like a reality competition for The Dragon Reborn? What the heck, man? Jeez.
Yeah, man. I don't know. It's just I'm just generally I am like, I don't. Here's my thing. I didn't expect it to get like, tons of nominations. I was not expecting that. I was expecting it to get like 1 or 2 in those sort of ultra subcategories.
Yeah, right, for sure. Yeah, man. Well, I mean,
especially because Amazon said it was their best, like streamed new show.
Yeah,
like it hit their records for like most people watching a brand new series.
Right, it brought in a lot of intrigue, and it was like people were really who had read the series, maybe you'd read it years ago, they came back to it. New people were like, okay, cool, this looks like something. Again, is this? It has that Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones vibe. It's trying to put you back in that fantasy genre or whatever, sci-fi ish. So it's cool. I mean, people wanted to go see that. I think, I don't know. I mean, really, I felt like the people who were most upset with it were like the book people. I don't know, like we're just with the end. I mean, still, it was a little anti-climactic, but whatever. I mean, I'm a little shocked as well. So, and I don't follow these things as much as maybe I should, but I just kind of assumed it's a big production. It had big numbers and it was doing well. And It's an Amazon thing. Like, what other Amazon stuff here? I'm just looking. You've got Netflix, like
Of
you said,
what?
Apple TV. I'm looking at what Amazon did they have in it?
Oh,
Amazon shows.
Marvelous Miss Maisel got some. The animated boys. They have like an animated.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, it's sort of kind of like I haven't just hit it yet, but I believe it's sort of like a Marvel like What If, where it's just these sort of like side stories or whatever. But
Yeah.
I know it got nominated for one.
Right, gotcha.
So I do imagine that next year, because it didn't qualify for whatever reason, Kenobi didn't qualify. I don't know how Stranger Things qualifies.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't get how Kenobi didn't qualify for this year. It says the show must air June 1st, 2021 to May 31st, 2022. It's like, well, Stranger Things didn't even come out until.
Yeah. That's not making any. I don't get it.
I don't get it. I don't know how Stranger Things. So like, I guess like Stranger Things Part 2 might. I don't know. Whatever.
Huh.
Anyway, so The Boys won't be available to be nominated until next year.
Okay, gotcha.
Because it'll be like that same thing, May to June. So Wheel of Time came out in November of 2021, so it was right at the same time as The Witcher. So it qualifies for this year's Emmys, but did not receive any, which I'm shocked, actually.
Huh. Well, the nominated 14 best category. Yeah, okay. That's wild. So do you think going forward though, I mean, do you think that like does that, if it's not does that affect maybe down the line like the number of seasons you get, or like if season 2 bounces back?
So it does, because sometimes a show, like if you go look at it, is I believe if you win an award, a lot of times it can save a show that's like teetering.
Okay.
One show that comes to mind is I remember reading was Merlin. It was a BBC show where there is an enormous difference in terms of budget between like season 2 and season 3. I mean, it's like insane. I mean, it's like, hold on a second, like something clearly happened here, and I was like, what the heck? What was the change here? Yeah. And they had won an award, and I remember the same with The Office, actually. Like season 1 of The Office wasn't it didn't actually do very well until Steve Carell got nominated, and that's where like, okay, we're gonna see, which sounds crazy because The Office was so was so good, but a lot of times that is the thing that can sometimes put something on the map, is winning one of these awards, or even getting nominated, because then the studios play this sort of, you pay to sort of two groups. There's the the fans and the people that make you money, and then there's the Academy Awards. And a lot of times, hey, if we win an award, it looks good, and then it can help you with budgets and all that stuff down the line. Yeah,
right. Because I wonder if like you said, it's two different things, right? So if the numbers were just like crazy and they're just rolling in, people are like, well, I don't know, we didn't win any awards, but people seem to be.
It doesn't matter. Yeah,
if the money's there, they'll keep doing it. But still, it is nice to have that combination of like, okay, it's got a lot of views, a lot of keeping people on, whatever, watching, and then like, also
so say The Dark Knight, for example. The Dark Knight as a comic book movie it was at one time like the most highest grossing superhero movie, and then of course now it's been beaten out by like Avengers and everything, but it's the only one that's crossed the $1 billion mark and had an actor win an award.